Hey, welcome to the Milk Theory Podcast. Today we are joined with Stephanie Clark.
I'm the Manager of Academic Engagement. At ADPI.
ADPI. Thank you for joining us. So I kind of wanted to start by letting our listeners get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
So how did you get started, like your career path to where you're at now? Like why dairy? Why did you get into this?
Sure. Well, about 50 years ago, a little bit more than 50 now, my mom got me a dairy goat for my 7th birthday.
Whoa, okay.
Yep. We had a small farm in Massachusetts, and she brought home a Nubian dairy goat kid.
Whoa.
Who we named Hillary. Black and white spotted. Still picture her in my mind.
Sure,
she was my very
she was
first
adorable.
goat. She was adorable, and it just started us on that path because, well, when you have a goat, you breed that goat.
Yeah.
And, well, you have milk. And then you do something with it. So basically, probably by 10, I was making cheese, probably.
Really?
With goat milk, probably. And believe it or not, I did not know anything about food science. I didn't know you could do that. Mm-hmm. But in junior high school, I would make cheese and I would do science fair projects with milk. But I didn't know that there was a career option in that because nobody ever told me because they probably didn't know. So I went to college wanting to be a vet. So I started out in animal science. I finished my bachelor's degree, but during my bachelor's, I wanted to do some undergraduate research on goat milk. So I went to my advisor in animal science and I said, I want to do undergraduate research on goat milk. And the advisor said, oh, that's not animal science, that's food science. And so I went over to the food science department. They directed me over there, introduced myself, and I took a class in milk and frozen desserts, and I said, oh, this is for me. So I finished that degree, then I stayed for my master's and PhD.
Wow.
Doing goat milk research.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That background is amazing, actually. Just starting with your own little goat. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So did that kind of lead into like where you have because I know you have such a passion for the ADPI Ambassador Program. Is that kind of what's led you into this type of career?
Okay. It's probably a combination of things.
Okay.
So I was involved in 4-H, and so that's essentially an ambassador program for agriculture, largely. So I think I always had a passion for teaching and finding the truth and communicating facts about animals and food and agriculture. And so I think that may have been the beginning. Then doing my undergraduate research and being in food science kind of all led to that. But as far as ADPI specifically, I'd been in academia for 26 years, and it was time for a transition, largely because of family changes in life. Giving my spouse more priority to do something with his career rather than my career as much. And we decided to move down to New Mexico. So that was a big change. So left the official, formal academic environment, went down there, but not really far from academia because we live in Las Cruces, which is where New Mexico State University is.
Aggies.
KJ saw on LinkedIn that I was not working at Iowa State, and she said, would you like to come over to ADPI and help launch the Ambassador Program? I said, absolutely, that's right up my alley, because it's still engaging with academic institutions because of my passion for students. I love students. I still work in academia. I volunteer over at NMSU because I just love working with students.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, what's kind of, so you helped start the Ambassador Program?
Yes.
So what is our listeners who don't know what it is, what is the ADPI Ambassador Program?
Sure. It's essentially a program designed to future-proof the dairy industry.
Okay.
Because we know students are our future, right? We need to expose them to dairy.
I agree, yeah.
The incredible number of opportunities there are in dairy. So you yourself, being an ambassador, you know that there are opportunities for students in finance, in marketing, in production, in the animal side, it goes on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
You talked about marketing. That's your expertise. Your audience had more than just marketing students.
They did.
And they maybe had no clue that you could work in the dairy industry with a marketing degree.
Yeah.
It's not the first thing you think of.
No.
When you think of dairy, you think of cows. Going to milk cows, or maybe you're going to feed cows. So much more. So much more. We know that in the industry, but students don't. So what we do is we send ambassadors out to share their career stories, but also share about ADPI so that they know that, so students learn that there are resources available to them. So for instance, if they have to do a term project or they have to write a paper for a class, if they happen to be taking a class on global economics of cheese, right? Maybe they have to do a paper for a class. They can get some resource, global sales information from our website. They can take our DI 360 if they are in a food science program that doesn't offer dairy classes. They can have access to scholarships if their parents work for an ADPI member or they go to an ADPI member school. So we alert them about those things. We also provide opportunities for them to get mentoring from someone who's in a career, a lifelong career, or maybe just starting out in a career, right? So we try to match them with somebody that maybe shares similar background, or maybe they grew up in a similar place, or they are in California, whatever it may be. I try to find a reason to match different mentors with different students, but the whole goal is to help these students navigate life as a student and get them on the right path to make a good career choice. It may or may not be dairy.
Yeah.
A lot of the students that I've matched are not dairy. They just happen to have gone to a dairy career spotlight featuring someone, for instance, like you, and saying, wow, that was inspirational. I believe that somebody could help me. They're not necessarily going to end up in dairy. That is okay. But exposing them to someone who can answer their questions and show compassion and help them get an understanding of work-life balance can make a difference, and hopefully give them a positive impression about dairy that might last their lifetime, which helps us too.
It's true.
I mean, ultimately, we want more students in this industry. We want people to replace us when we retire.
For sure.
We'd love that. But there's more to it than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see kind of does ADPI kind of recognize the discrepancy between maybe the younger generation not really seeing what's in dairy? Do you guys notice that? Is that something that you guys think about, or?
Sure. The younger populations are getting further and further away from the farm.
Yeah.
And further away from where food is produced. So yes, there is a disconnect. So there are some aha moments. Yep.
Yeah.
We do see that.
Yeah, that's interesting. No, because I remember when I joined the dairy industry, I learned what milk protein concentrate was and blew my mind. And so, I felt like the ambassador program for me was a really important thing for me to be able to go and show people different things. What are the challenges that you are facing, the biggest challenges that you're facing with this right now? With
the ambassador program or with the dairy industry?
I think we'll start with the ambassador program.
Sure. With the ambassador program, I need more volunteers.
Okay.
I would really love for people listening to your podcast to say, I have something to give back, and I want to see this industry continue to thrive beyond me. We have about 41, I think, academic institution members of ADPI, and I have about 55, 60 volunteers, but some of those volunteers want to be mentors and not necessarily go speak at a university.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have a few more of both, for sure both, but people throughout the country, so that if I need an ambassador to go to North Carolina, it may just be a few hours drive rather than a flight.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more ambassadors throughout the country who can do the career spotlights as well as mentors throughout the world who are members of ADPI who can serve as a mentor in any major, right? Because I might have a lot of food science volunteers, but I may be short on economics
Yeah.
volunteers. But I have students who want a mentor.
Yeah.
And if I don't have that economics mentor available, then they have to wait. And I'd love to be able to match them right when the student says, I'd like a mentor, I'd like to be able to give them a mentor.
For sure.
So I feel like I need a balanced pool. So that's my biggest challenge, is having a balanced pool of the students and the mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even when I went to BYU Idaho, my alma mater,
Yes.
there was a lot of food scientist kids there.
Yes.
But I did have a lot of business majors and a lot of communication majors, and I think there's a room to grow absolutely
sure.
there. 'Cause
For sure.
the innovation with food scientists, crucial to our industry. Getting the message out and sharing how cool it is also crucial.
Yep.
And the logistics
Yep.
of it. And
Yep.
so...
And we have a number of students, for instance, who are interested in sustainability.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
But that pool of expertise is quite a bit smaller than the
It
pool
is.
of expertise in food science.
Yeah, for sure. So
Right, so-
you have to find the right people.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you have to hope that they want to do it, right? So that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
What would you say are the issues you think you're seeing within the dairy industry?
Okay, with the dairy industry, a tremendous amount of misinformation and even disinformation, I would say. And I've always been one who wants to myth bust ever since I was in 4-H.
Yeah.
To help people understand the goodness of dairy and agriculture, right? So when I hear somebody say something negative or something false, I immediately feel the need to correct it. So part of my research when I was in academia was consumer research and consumer education, and I think we need more people doing that. And we ourselves need to be ambassadors for the dairy industry.
Yeah.
Not be afraid to speak up in the grocery store. I do it so often. I'm my spouse sometimes gets embarrassed. He'll kind of try to pull me away, or he'll walk away when he sees me correcting something I hear in the grocery store.
No, it's inspirational hearing that. I fully agree. It's being new into the industry. I like seeing it from a different point of view. I believe some of those false narratives.
Yeah, because you hear them enough.
Yeah.
And you think it's true. So, for instance, I fear, and this isn't an intentional. This is not intentional.
Okay.
But I fear that people are going to become more opposed, or let me phrase it this way. I fear that we're going to have a lactose intolerant generation soon.
Yeah.
Because there's so many lactose-free products out there in the market. I fear that people are developing this sense that lactose is bad, period.
Yeah.
Lactose is bad, I shouldn't consume it. I'm going to get stomach ache if I have lactose. Whereas the majority of the population is not lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who have lactose maldigestion, but not lactose intolerance, right? So we, as a dairy industry, need to inform one another of the reality there, that even though we've got a lot of lactose-free products and they're popular and they're meeting a niche, so many people are buying those products because they have a long shelf life, not necessarily because of the lactose-free, but it's going to become, in the younger and younger generations, they're going to think, oh, I need to avoid that.
Yeah.
Just like I need to avoid rBST.
True.
Right? This misperception that rBST is bad. Like, rBST is going to make me mature earlier. No, that's not true. Recombinant bovine somatotropin does not affect humans.
Yeah.
It affects cows. So
Yeah.
there are misperceptions about both of those things, for example. And we as a dairy industry need to understand the reality to be able to share and break those misperceptions and not be afraid to share those stories.
Yeah, I think that being bold too, you know,
Yes.
like the dairy industry, in my opinion, has been like, we've held back a lot, and it's like, I think we could be bold. We have the science to back it.
I 100% agree. I think we're very conservative and afraid to offend.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but it hurts us.
It does.
When people avoid rBST or avoid lactose when they really don't need to.
Yeah, absolutely. It limits a lot of things.
It does.
So,
it does.
So, well, if somebody wanted to volunteer, we're going to go back to the ambassador program now. If somebody wanted to volunteer, how could they get a hold of you, or how could they get and do that?
Yes, everything's on our website.
Okay.
For sure, you can find it by going to adpi.org. I think it says /Ambassador Program. I believe that's the address. So I should have looked it up before we had this podcast, but you could maybe, I don't know if you can put it as a little
search it,
under one of those little type things underneath my name when you introduce me or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, we will.
We'll just get it in there somehow. But they can volunteer by clicking the little link there to volunteer as an ambassador. It says it right there, and either end of the program, either as a career spotlight or a mentor, or both. We've had some people who've done both.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It is. It really is.
It's awesome. No, I really appreciate you coming on. Like, I really like the ambassador program.
Thank
it was
you.
awesome for me to go back, but it's because I was so blown away by the dairy industry. And I want people to see that. And so
do I.
Yeah.
So do I.
So I'm really appreciating that you came on the podcast with us. And
my pleasure.
Yeah, it's been so good to talk with you, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Ben.